Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to our weekly Bhagavad Gita session. We are discussing the last Sunday. We discussed something about austerity, and we will continue on that topic. And so, the last session we discuss these are the verses from 17th chapter, which covers austerity of different types, and the three broad types that what we had seen that the austerities can be performed, that is by our body, by our speech, and by our mind. And we will analyze today in more detail the austerities to be performed by body and mind, our body and our speech. Very important aspects of our life in general, as well as in devotional service. We'll do a quick recap of what we discussed on the last Sunday. Last Sunday we had a different session. We spoke about Mayadhyakshena Prakriti verse from 9th chapter, but we'll now resume with our journey through the verses describing austerities. Last Sunday, we spoke about the focus was more on the worldview. We took a worldview. We had a poll, and then we ended up taking a worldview that how the world today is operating, what the today's world is teaching us. If we were not to be in the devotional service, if we were not to be connected with Krishna consciousness, what otherwise our outcome will be, and what are the teachings given by this world to us in general. The general teaching that we get from this world is life is only meant for enjoyment. That is what advertisers tell us. That is what Bollywood will tell us. That is what sports industry will tell us. That is what jewelers will tell us. That is what malls will tell us. Everyone is bombarding us with this same message that if you want, if you have got this one life, enjoy more. And to enjoy, work hard and party harder. That's the tagline with which the world today is functioning. However, in the Krishna consciousness, there is one more caveat in this. The second theory is survival of the fittest. It is okay if you want to enjoy, you need to be stronger so that either you can enjoy others or you can exploit others. And life is meant for enjoyment, and survival of the fittest together gives us a very scary worldview where everything can be justified. Every action, what howsoever bad that can be, morally, that can have justification under these two taglines that I wanted to enjoy. This is what I enjoyed, and I could do it. Others who are suffering, they couldn't protect themselves, which because they are weak. So survival of the fittest, when we combine that with mentality for enjoyment, life is meant for enjoyment, we get the world that we have today, where everyone is exploiting everyone else, and there is completely um, there's complete chaos in the world where everybody is distress, everybody is under tremendous stress, to enjoy more. They have a stress for enjoying more, they have to become capable of enjoying more. and and everybody is going through this very very stressful situation otherwise, outside world. This world view is as dangerous as, uh, where every worst seeming action can have a good justification. Uh, one horrible thing happened in the previous century is World War II, where Nazis used their advanced scientific knowledge to create gas chambers where they could stuff all the Jews and kill them at one go. And this is what they believe they should be doing. This is what they set goals for doing this activity, and they found this innovation to be extremely helpful for them to achieve their goal. the and then so they not even once they thought that this is a horrible act of human a horrible act that they are doing, but they just went ahead doing it, and Jews had to suffer because Jews were weak. Similarly, humans are killing animals for their tongue satisfaction, for their sense enjoyment, because animals cannot protest. Animals are weak. Chickens and goats together cannot protest, cannot come to Ram Lila Maidan and stage a huge protest against the killing. They are killing. So their right to live is denied because they are weak, and they have no capacity to protest. So the life is meant only for enjoyment, and survival of the fittest uh, will give us a very horrible worldview that what we have today, where everyone is prepared to cut each other's throat, if that's giving them enjoyment, for their enjoyment, for the purpose of their enjoyment, for the purpose of securing their enjoyment. And that's why we see what we see in the world today, what we see in the newspapers today, what we see on the TV channels today. We'll take this a little we'll see the same thing with a different view. Last session we concluded that only scriptures bring some sanity in our life. If we have our actions are based on scriptures, then only we can perform proper actions. Otherwise, with these two theories, we can do any horrible thing and still create a good justification for the same. We enacted laws to limit these things, but apart from that, even those laws are incorrect, because if somebody is killing a chicken and somebody is killing a other person, a human being, or the law treat it differently. But Krishna does not make any difference, because the person who is a human birth today could have been given a chicken's body in the previous life, or he may get chicken's body in the next life. From Krishna's point of view, all are living entities, and every life is precious. Every life nobody should take away. And so therefore that worldview is extremely scary and extremely disturbing. And only with the help of scriptures we could bring some regulation into our life. Now today what we'll do, we'll look at the same point from a slightly different angle. We'll study a verse, a purport by Srila Prabhupada from first canto, first chapter, second verse, where Prabhupada is distinguishing human life and animal life, and bringing, comparing these two, and bringing in what is the difference between the two and what constitute that difference. So religion, Prabhupada starts this purport by saying that religion includes four primary subjects, that is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Dharma is pious activities, economic development, artha, satisfaction of senses, kama, and finally liberation, moksha, from the material bondage. Now religion, now here the word dharma is used in the and that is supposed to mean religion. Dharma otherwise has multiple meanings. Dharma, used in the seventh verse of second chapter in Bhagavad Gita, has a meaning that what is my innate duty. So that there the dharma, the word dharma means duty. Here dharma means religion. And religion has these four aspects. Every religion should provide for these four activities, that is dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Irreligious life is barbarous condition. And then Prabhupada compare the human life and the animal life. The human life begins when religion begins. Eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating are the four principles of animal life as well, and these are common both to animals and human beings. But religion is the extra function of the human beings. Without religion, human life is no better than animal life, as good as animal life. So anybody who say that I don't follow any religion, we can see them as animals. We can see them they as a dvipad pashu, two-leg animals, nothing better than an animal. Therefore, in human societies, there is some form of religion which aims at self-realizations and which makes a reference to man's eternal relationship with God. So every religion on the planet of in this planet, on the surface of this earth should aim to provide these two basic information. So should aim to give some process for self realization, some knowledge for self realization, and it should make a reference, it should show, explain man's eternal relationship with God. Now if any religion who is not even doing these two basic things is not a religion. Now they may do these things differently, because the mathematics taught in say third standard and 10th standard is obviously different, because the level of the students are different. So if but however there should be some basic fundamental reference to these things should be available in every religion. If that is not there, then that religion is not proper religion or not bona fide religion. Prabhupada uses this reference is this verse that ahara nidrya bhaya maithunam cha samana metat pashubhir निर्मणानाम धर्मो हि तेषाम अधिको विशेषो धर्मेण हिना hi pashubhi samana, which means the same thing, that without dharma, that ahar nidra bhaya maithun, these are the common activities for humans as well as animals, and the differentiator between a human and an animal is dharma. So and dharma means some information about self realization and basic some information about our eternal relationship with God and how to realize that. Some information, some process should be given for that. Now if that is missing, then that dharma is not bona fide. In the Prabhupada continues in the purport that in the lower stages of human civilization, there is always competition to lord it over material nature. Now, Prabhupada explains what role dharma play in people's life in general. Now, he's not talking about devotees, but in general, how dharma becomes handy for people. So, Prabhupada explains that there is a competition to lord it over material resources, and those resources are meant for continuous there's a satisfaction of the senses. The rivalry is to satisfy senses. Rivalry is a competition to satisfy our senses. Driven by such consciousness, man turns to religion. He thus perform pious activities or religious functions in order to gain something material. So this is karma kanda section where we do something to get something. Now our again the fundamental principle is same, that the sole purpose of life is to enjoy. If that becomes my purpose of life, and for enjoying I need some resources, I need to enjoy wealth, I need to enjoy food, I need to enjoy property, richness, or I want to enjoy body of some other individual. I so these are all my resources using which I can enjoy. And in order to command those resources, get that enjoyment, I need to have resources. And in order to command my resources, I need some help. At times I can turn to religion and perform some pious activities to get some higher facility for enjoyment, and that is karma kanda section, where we perform religious activities not for attaining love of God, but for getting better facility, better facilities for sense enjoyment. So this material, Prabhupada says that if such material gains are available in other ways, then so-called religion is neglected. Now, this is a very interesting point, that material gains are available in some other ways. Prabhupada saying that what other ways? That is what was given by science. If you want to enjoy more, science discovered air conditioners, science discovered refrigerators, fans, cars, aeroplanes, and so on and so forth. Science discovered that how you can stay young and keep and go on enjoying bodies of other opposite sex, and how you can remain wrinkle free, how you can use shampoo and creams to increase and enhance your beauty, and that way remain attractive for longer time duration, so that you can enjoy more. Now this same facility, earlier people used to turn to religion and to get that better facility for sense enjoyment. When science started providing the same to humans, they started neglecting the religion. And this is the situation, Prabhupada says, this is the situation in modern civilization. Man is thriving economically. So at present, there he is not much interested in religion. Prabhupada goes on to say that the mosques, churches, and temples are practically empty. Prabhupada wrote this in 60s, but That is the condition even today. People come to temple for some gain, and the moment their objective is achieved, they turn their back. There is always a increased rush before the exam in this particular season, when at March and April, because this is the time when various exams are students are approaching various exams in their studies. So this is the time when they feel the need for God to be there, and then they come to the temple, they pray, and the moment they get what they they wanted, they turn their back to God and they go away. Again, come back probably when they next time land up in the problem. So man are more interested in factories, shops, and cinema than religious places which were erected by their forefathers. Prabhupada makes a very sound, very, very interesting point here. This practically proves that religion is performed for gain, source only for economic gain. Your economic gains are needed for sense gratification. So everything comes down to the point that we will do religious activities if they help us get better quality and quantity of sense enjoyment. Otherwise, we are not so much interested in God. Not everybody, at least. So, uh, and then Prabhupada goes on to make the point that the Vedas, however, Vedas, so our religion, Prabhupada, from global statement to comes to specific statement, Sanatan Dharma, where Vedic authority is accepted, authority of Vedas are accepted, and everybody likes to form, because in our Vedic system, this liberation is also highlighted. Liberation is also predominantly mentioned, uh, and it is said that the prescribed whatever the above mentioned four activities are there, they need to be performed in a regulated way. It's not to be it's not a lifelong license to enjoy. Everything has to be done in a regulative way, so that there is no undue competition for sense gratification. And then Prabhupada comes to the point of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is purely transcendental literature, even beyond, it goes way beyond what Vedas teach. Vedas tell you to do some regulation. Now this is where austerity comes in, and that's why we are linking this point to the austerities, and which we will discuss in the subsequent session. But Prabhupada says that Srimad Bhagavatam is purely transcendental literature, which can be understood only by pure devotees who are transcendental to the competitive sense gratification. So Prabhupada says in the Vedic society, there should be no competition, undue competition for sense gratification. And today, most of the problems that we have are because of this competition. This competition leads to stress. This competition for looking good leads to people committing suicides. Competition to look intelligent, to stand first, to perform well in the exams, that leads to suicides. That leads to very, very stressful conditions for students who ultimately many times take decision to end their lives. So this competition to earn money more, competition to look good, competition to look stronger, competition to look to be richer than other, and all this is the competition to be more knowledgeable than others, competition, this competition for controlling resources and competition for sense gratification is the root cause of all the problems that we have in today's society. And if we were to follow Vedas properly, there will be no undue competition for sense gratification. In fact, if we were to follow since Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita properly, then the situation would be reversed. There is no question of competition, but otherwise, if when other person makes progress, one becomes very happy. So that is the position of a devotee. That is the position of a devotee. That it's opposite to what the worldview, material worldview is. There is no question of competition. So Srimad Bhagavatam is purely competition. The pure devotees of the Lord who are transcendental to the competitive sense gratification. In the material world, there is keen competition between animal and animal, man and man, community and community, nation and nation. But the devotees of the Lord rise above such competitions. They do not compete with materialists because they are on the path back to Godhead, where there is life is eternal and blissful both. Such transcendentalists are non-envious and pure in heart. In the material world, everyone is envious of everyone else, and therefore there is competition. But transcendental devotees, Prabhupada says, are not only free from material envy, but they are well-wishers of everyone, and they strive to establish a competition-less society with God in the center. Now, this is what we learn from this beautiful purport of the second verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam first first chapter itself. And uh, so so the 2 points, we thought are will again highlight that the just like the previous session, we discussed that how the mentality to enjoy, there is a competition to enjoy, and for enjoying there's a competition to control resources that exist in the world. So the sense gratification is at the center of all activities. Sex life is at the center of all activities in the material world, and everything is done by keeping this in the center. And the creating all the facilities are created for the purpose of sense gratification. And when we have life like this, it it will be obviously, there cannot be any peace, there cannot be any happiness in such life. And that's why we see everyone in distress condition, and some people who cannot tolerate this distress condition, they choose to end their life, and there are increased divorce rates, there are increased suicide rates, there are increased mental health issues, and that is not only in the particular caste, particular age group, it's there right at the school level. People are suffering from stress, people are suffering from depression, and negativity is everywhere. And that's how that this is what the current material world has gifted us. And Prabhupada is saying that come to the Vedic world, best come to the world of Srimad Bhagavatam, become a pure devotee, become devotee, and become non-envious of everyone. Then start your journey back to Godhead, where life is eternal, life is blissful. Become non-envious, become well-wishers of everyone. Other person make do something good, congratulate them, become happy for them, become genuinely happy for them. And that way, because you can only do this by keeping God in the center, Krishna in the center. Otherwise it is not possible. Two verses, important verses from Bhagavad Gita, which explains the same point, that fifth chapter, 22nd and 23rd verse, that intelligent person uh, does not become busy in making arrangement for sense gratification, because it has a beginning and it has a end, and there will be always lamentation awaiting us if we choose to indulge in those. So become intelligent, don't delight in them. Then what you should do, before giving a present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the material senses and check the forces of desire and anger, he will be he is well situated and happy in this world. So, so Sa Sukhi Nara. Sa Yukta Sa Sukhi Nara. That's how what we should be hoping to do. Now, austerity is what we will discuss. Austerity by body, austerity of body, austerity of speech, and austerity of mind. And the similar verses, this three combination is used at many places in Srimad Bhagavatam. Two verses I found, which I have quoted. Will not discuss these verses, but just famous verse that's Kaya-Vacha-Mana va buddhyatmana va prakriti swabhavat karoni yadyat sakalam parasme narayana iti samarpayami. That I will worship Lord Narayana. I'll use for the pleasure of Lord Narayana. What all I'll use everything, whatever I possess, body, words, mind, senses, intelligence, and consciousness. Everything I will use for the service of Lord Narayana. This is 11th canto, second chapter, 36th verse. 10th canto, another interesting verse is there in 10th canto, 47th and 66th verse, where Uddhav, this is the chapter which describes the the Brahmar Geet, or a song of a bee, where Uddhava is sent by Lord Krishna to Vrindavan to tell the Brajavasis that Krishna is there in their Krishna is everywhere, and they should not feel so much separation from Krishna, and Krishna will soon return. And Uddhava is Krishna's friend, and he looks like Krishna, and he's extremely devoted to Krishna, and he accept this assignment to service opportunity to Krishna and goes to Vrindavan, and there he meets Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Maya, and gopis who speak with him in take him to a secluded place, and there he's they speak with him. There is a beautiful prayer, the beautiful 10 verses which Radharani has spoken to a bee, bumblebee, who is there, and she's speaking to the bee, but she's speaking with Uddhava as well, and she's giving this message to Uddhava. And in that section, when Uddhava, at the end of after spending few months there, he chooses to leave. He requests for permission from Nanda Maharaj that I want to leave and go back to Krishna, so that I can narrate to him whatever I have seen and heard and experienced. And there, Nanda Maharaj and other cowherd men, they say that may our mental functions always take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. May our words always chant his name, and may our bodies always bow down to him and serve him. Now, this verse comes towards the end of this chapter, where Nanda Maharaj is expressing these feelings. Now, they are eternal father of Krishna. They don't have to do this, but this is what their mood is, that they want to serve Krishna with their mind, with their body, and with their words. They want to glorify Krishna with using all these faculties. So this is the importance of these austerities. When we say austerities, um, austerity means basically whatever we can do, we have capacity to do, but we choose not to do for some higher purpose. Now that is called austerity. Nanda Maharaj wants to do that austerity. Some austerities can be one is overweight. One may perform austerity by eating less so that they can get into good shape and look attractive and look feel healthy, look good on all that. So some austerities could have a material purpose. Now, becoming healthy is not per se a bad purpose, but what you want to do after becoming healthy, that is where the key lies. If I want to look healthy and become healthy and attract my opposite sex, just use that for attracting more attention from the opposite sex, then that's waste of health. Everything that we possess should be used for Krishna's service, and therefore, all austerities should also be aimed at rendering some service to Krishna. That is proper way of austerity. Starving person due to poverty or non-availability of food on the day of Ekadashi is not fasting, is not performing austerity, but he has no food, therefore he is fasting. He's starving, is not fasting. But devotees choose to remain choose to not eat food, not consume food on the Ekadashi day or on the prescribed days for the pleasure of Lord, for showing Lord that they can they want to do something for him. And this is the very small gesture of our love towards Krishna that we can express by staying hungry, following his instructions, that we should remain hungry at least on 2 days in a month for by following Ekadashi, and perform the extra time that we get in increasing hearing and chanting and service of Krishna. So fasting is not a exercise to show the world that I can remain hungry for long hours, but to utilize that extra time in serving Krishna. So higher purpose, there has to be higher purpose. We have to get that higher purpose from the religion. Religion scriptures should provide for that higher purpose. And teachers, guru and sadhu who are personally practicing it and then teaching it, we should learn it from them. So this is the role of the performing austerities, that austerities are meant for our purification so that we can increase our service to Krishna. And the 17th chapter, Krishna speaks about three types of austerities. Austerity initially speaks about austerities performed in the sattva-guna, rajoguna, and tamoguna. And within austerity section, there are three types of austerities he speaks about. 14th verse speak about austerity by body, that Deva Deva Dvija Guru Pragya Pujanam, that the worship of Supreme Lord, Brahmanas, spiritual master, and superiors like mother and father. Now, that is first type of austerity. Having got our body, this is what we are supposed to do. So sorry about the disturbance. Let me see what's happening here.